when I look at your trajectory, I would describe you as someone who, just like, you've positioned yourself to pursue the things in which you find passion. You've written books on marketing strategy, but you've written books on climate change. You've written books on like all these different types of things. So I am sure, as we talked about passion versus, the way you show up to work, how do you at this point in your career determine whether something is worth pursuing?
So let's go back to where you were a few minutes ago. I think there's a huge difference between the output of what we create and the way we create it. Those are different things. So if someone is a great tennis instructor and all of a sudden no one on earth wanted to play tennis anymore, I think they could become a great instructor of just about anything. They could become an instructor, not just of, a simple game like pickleball, but an instructor about how to trade put options on the Chicago Merc. Because teaching is teaching. Teaching is pedagogy. How do I look someone in the eye and figure out where they're stuck? That's what they're doing. They're not playing tennis, they're teaching. So for me, marketing isn't something I was born to do. What I was born to do is a certain kind of teaching that lights me up. I'm also really curious. Those two things are what I dance between over and over again. But I wrote the first book on digital cash, and it was just as interesting for me to write about that and end up owning zero Bitcoin, by the way, to write about that as it was to write about Purple Cow, because they're just problems that I like to solve. So if you think that you have to do the thing, I think you might be making a mistake. The thing isn't what you think it is. It's the process. And there are so many places to do the process. So what it is to find financial independence, as you've taught so beautifully, is only two things: the way you spend money and the way you earn money. And the best way to earn money is to solve a problem for people who have money to spend. And if you can find a way to find passion in doing that, then you're never going to have to worry about making money.
What are some of the metrics when you're looking for that problem that you can solve that tell you this isn't for me to solve or I don't want to solve this?
Okay, so I think that there's stories and then there's stories about stories. You probably will get burnt out if you are working for someone who doesn't respect you, who abuses you, someone who's spoiled, somebody who doesn't appreciate the work, somebody who is disloyal or dishonest. Those things aren't generative and resilient. On the other hand, there are plenty of people who might not be your friend, who you can offer a service to if they will pay you fairly. And this idea that there are 7.5 billion people on earth with a job, and almost all of those jobs got invented in the last 50 years, and almost all of those people are serving somebody, doing something they didn't plan to do when they were little, shows us that what we have is this market and jobs and projects and freelancing all in flux, where problems arise and people find a way to solve them. And you don't have to solve this person's problem, but you have to solve somebody's problem. And I think you could find a way to do that you're proud of, where you get paid fairly.